So when you open your Canva app, this is the first page you see. So these are all templates for different purposes. You can still use the search button, the search bar here, to search for whatever it is that you want to create. But regardless, you already know how to use templates. So I'm just going to be teaching you how to make nice quality designs from scratch. So first you have to click the plus button at the bottom of your screen in the middle. So something like this will come out, and then you're seeing things like flyer, portraits, logo, Instagram post, and whatsoever. So we're going to click on flyer. Now, mind you, in this bracket here, on this flyer, there's something in the bracket written portraits. There are different ways of there are two. Let me just give you the two basic ones. There's the portrait and there's the landscape. Now the difference between portrait and landscape is this: portrait, just like this flyer you're seeing over this icon you're seeing here, it's rectangular but straight, like it's upright. You understand? So for flyers that you are going to design in that upright form, is called a portrait. Now when it's in that portrait form, it's best for business flyers, church flyers, stuff like that. But then there's this other one too that is rectangular, but it's as if the rectangle is lying down, like it's short. Those ones are best for printing, like when you want to print banners or when you want to print business cards and all that. That's when you need something short. So you also need to pay attention to the sizes of your worksheets. You understand? So now we're going to whatever it is that we're going to design, because I'm going to be designing from my head. I don't really have anything in mind. I don't even know what brand I'm going to be designing for, but I'm just going to be doing this from inspiration. So we're going to be making flyer, and after flyer I'm going to show you how to make a logo. So from flyer, now you click on this one because that is the size I need. It's loading. Okay, so this is what the clear sheet will look like. This is what the size of the portrait is expected to look like. So let's say I'm designing a flyer for a hair vendor. Let's use that instead. I'm designing a flyer for a hair vendor. So let's say, okay, the background. We're going to replace that. There are different ways of choosing the backgrounds. Either you choose plain colors, just like from here, or you use, if you look down beneath this part where it's showing colors, you see something like solid colors and gradient colors. You can still click on gradients and you have something like this. Now in this gradient you can also change different styles. If you want it like this, like this, like this, like this, whatever it is that is pleasing to you. So let's use this. Okay, apart from this background, there's also another means to check to use. There are other backgrounds that you can always use. Now there's this button beneath here, the first one that says replace. You click on replace. Now beneath that replace, you see things like camera roll, uploads, photos, videos, and background. So we're going to click on that background. So clicking on background, you have different options. You can see recently used, you can see landscapes, you can see patterns, you can see gradients. You understand? So you can pick out any background from here if you want. So these are also ways to get very nice backgrounds, including textures. My favorite is usually the texture because it's more, mature. But you can use other prints, maybe when you want to create a fun flyer or abstracts. I recommend abstracts for people that want to create all these club owners, all these club flyers and all that. I recommend abstracts. But today I want us to do something simple and plain, just because of time. So let's just work with this. Another way to also get background is also through Pinterest. You can always search for backgrounds on Pinterest. Backgrounds. That is, if you're not satisfied with backgrounds for editing, if you're not satisfied with whatever background that Canva has to offer, you can still come here on Pinterest and just search for something that you like. You get, and then you download the image, and then you can apply it. Now, how to apply it on Canva is this. You see something like camera roll. Let's say this, add to page. Now, if I'm adding it to page, I can easily expand. Let's say this is my background. You can easily expand, but this is not my background, so we're deleting it. Then another method is also, you can also use the replace option, and you can pick any image that you want to use as background. You see that it has taken the position immediately. You get. Then also, in case maybe you made a mistake or you want to undo certain things, you can simply just click on this top option where there are two arrows facing opposite direction, one facing the left while one facing the right. So if I want to undo what I have just done, I just click on this and I'm back to the last phase. So now let's come up with a brand name. Let's say Hair by Jessie. You can now, for the fonts, you click on text. Now it's either you write your own, you compose your own fonts using these places that shows add heading, add a subheading. So these are some examples. You can see that some has pro at the bottom. Me personally, as a professional designer, I prefer using things that have pro on them. Why? Because it is usually inaccessible to people that are using the free Canva. And who are those people that are using free Canvas? They are just those business owners, maybe a hair vendor or a business owner that wants to be doing graphic design on her own, like something that is cheaper. So I don't usually use it. I use the pro ones because those are the more unique features or unique elements that people don't use often. You understand? Because for you to be able to have access to be paying for Canva, it means that you're actually a professional, or it's something that is very important to you. Now, in this text, I think I'm just going to go with writing my own, because that way I can show you some other things. So let's say hair by Jessie. Now for this, you can also see that there are some things that also need to be considered. Your color contrast. Let it not be something that will affect your background. Let me show you the power of color selection. Now, when you pick a color, imagine using white for this, or using red for this, or using which other color again? Green. You see that it's contrasting with the background and it's not really coming out nice. So it's not really advisable to go for this. You go for colors that are acceptable. You get. Now, this is hair by Jessie. You also need to consider the font. Now, for the font, if you look closely, Canva has made it easier for us. The last class, I taught you that there are different fonts, and what they are important for. You have the serif, the sans serif, and 2 others. Now, Canva has also made it easier for you in a way that they have grouped these fonts into different categories, more like plentier categories for you to pick from, depending on what you're trying to depict on your flyer or graphic work as a whole. You use something bold, like headings or display. Display is more of bold and playful fonts. So I would always suggest you go for headings, because headings are much more official. Okay, so you have something like this. We have something like this. I think I can work with it. It's not all that, but since we're just test running. Now, for this, there's something you can do. There are things like effects. So you click on effects. You see that it's on none. You have things like shadow. You have things like lifts. Lift gives this effect where it makes the whatever the design to stand out from the way it has been. This is shadow. You see shadow create that 3D format, that 3D form. While lift just lifts it from the sheet. And then you still have hollow. This is cool too. You still have this. You have this. You have this. You can always play around with stuff like this. So, hair by Jessie. Let's say hair by Jessie presents. This is where you now talk about typography. The typography that I mentioned in last class presents. Typography is all about your fonts, your placement of fonts, and how you arrange them. So if your typography is wrong, or if it's weird, like if you did not use the right font, or if you're not using the right collection of fonts, it makes your work look boring, or makes it look weird, or make it look busy, depending on whatever fonts that you used. So since I used something bold for the brand name, I'm going to be using a cursive for the second text. You can call it cursive, you can call it script. Most of all these fonts with like fine handwriting-ish kind of stuff, they're all called scripts. So I'm trying to find the perfect font for it. Let's re-edit this right up. Let's re-edit this and let's give it some kind of effect to stand out. So I think we should use this. You see the effect of it. You see how the difference. This is when it is with nothing, and this is with lift. So let's say hair by Jessie is running sales. So let's say hair by Jessie presents. I need to make this bigger, or let's make it smaller rather. Now, then another icon I want to show you is the element icon. When designing, make elements icon your best friend. Honestly speaking, just make it your best friend. So let's say she's running a 20% discount. So let's search for that on the elements option. So you can see that there are different options. So to just save time, let's just pick the first one. Hair by Jessie presents 20%. You can make this bigger depending on whatever you want. Let's put it this way, 20% off. So there's no off here, but we can still search in the element to see if we're going to get off. So let's just search to see if I'll get anything on off. Now if you observe, you see that there are, in the graphic spots, you see different icons or elements on off. So I'm going to pick this. Okay, now for this, you can always, if you notice, it doesn't sit well per se. So if you don't want this stuff to show, all you need to do is move a little bit, and then you see this icon that says layers. You click on layers. Now you see that there are different the rights of the designs are arranged in different layers. You can always rearrange them when you feel certain things are blocking something. So for this one, the only thing that is blocking me is the 20%. So I'm going to hide this off underneath the 20%. Do you see what it looks like? Now I'm also going to make it smaller because it's too big. 20% off on all others. So now after this, since it's a hair business stuff, I'm going to be including some wigs, to make it more catchy. So let's go back to Pinterest and search wigs. Now as you can see, different hairs are coming up, so we're just going to pick out as many as possible to save. Also take note that whenever you're selecting images, ensure that the pictures are not cut or cropped in a certain way. For example, the head of this dummy, let's say this, imagine if this dummy head was cropped, it's going to affect us in the long run. So thank God it's not. So we're going to download it. First image downloaded, and then let's go for this, and yeah, we can go for this too. Also select images that are clear and clear and neat. Now see this picture. Now you see that this place is cropped, the top of the wig is cropped. So when we download that image and we try to remove the background, that place is going to look like something cut it. It's not going to look neat. So we don't need wigs or images like that as a whole. You see? So I think we have got enough images because we're just trying to test run. It's not like it's a real thing. Okay, so we're going to select images that we're going to be including in this, add to page. Now this is where the fun begins. You go to Magic Studio. Now when you click on Magic Studio, there are options like BG remover, that's background remover, magic eraser, magic grab text, and all that. And if you notice, there's something like a crown at the lower right corner of each of these designs, these icons, meaning that this is only applicable for Canva Pro users. You get, and since you are now officially a Canva Pro user, you can access any of this. So we're going to be removing background of each and every of these designs, of these pictures. So as you can see, the background of the first one has been successfully removed. So let's put that aside while we focus on the other one and also remove its background. Okay, now that everything now that all their backgrounds has been removed, this is the part where we rearrange them in different forms. Now I would like this one to come in front, so all I need to do is the same process. Just go to the layering and rearrange, put it ahead above the other one so it could come out. You see that it's now in front, it's no longer behind. So let's reduce this stuff a bit so that there'll be space for others. Then this one too is also behind and I want it to come front, so same process, just put it above. You get? Okay, I want it above the other one too. Yeah, so just something, graphic design is just you playing around with stuff, exploring your creativity and all that. So it doesn't really matter. So this is where I'll just be arranging, putting everything in the right places. Now, if you can tell that this part where the picture ended and we remove the background, you see that it's quite rough, like it's showing, I don't know how to explain it, but this straight line, it looks weird. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So we are going to create some kind of distraction and distraction from whatever it is that's going on here. So 20% off, and here we're going to come up with an element. Let's say what's it called? What's the word? Is it banner? Sorry, it was a mistake. Let me say banner. I'll go with gold banner. I think gold will be cool. Yeah, I think this. Now, do you see that this has created some kind of distraction from whatever it was that was blocking? So here we're going to write a text: 20% off on all wig orders. You get? So orders. So let's improve the size a bit. Okay, then we also need to adjust the effects. If you notice, I like using so on all wig orders. So I think we can do with a little color here. Let's darken this red a bit. Yeah. So you can see that the colors are not contrasting. You're still playing around with colors, but you're still being careful on what color to use and what not. Just try to ensure that whatever color you're trying to pick is not contrasting with whatever it is that you have. So you also need to do something like valid till 29th March, and then you just put some kind of dash till let's say 10th of April. Okay, we don't need the off. Yeah, 10th April. So we can still squeeze this in here. No, I think this is best. You get? So now we can just include sometimes another shortcut is then maybe put some kind of phone number. Let me edit this phone number. Let me put my phone number 09048086573. This is for phone number. And copy, edit, and let me put a social media handle at hair by Jessie. So now we're going to create, normally flyers, if you've noticed, flyers used to have some kind of bar line at the bottom. So we're going to search for white strip. Yeah, I can crop this. Let's see. Okay, so here we're going to be putting the WhatsApp number and all that here. So we're going to go back to the elements part, and we're going to search. This is why I love elements so much, because it's like my best friend, like my assistant. So here we're going to search God keeps taking me back. I'm going to search WhatsApp icon. So, and there you have different options, and trust me to still always go for the pro version. So I think I'm just going to go with the first one. Let's zoom so we can see what we're doing and ensure that we're doing a great job. So we're going to do the same thing for Instagram. So new other options for Instagram has come out. So I'm going to pick the colored one, just like I did for WhatsApp. So we're going to zoom so we can see better and ensure that we're arranging it in the right way. Yeah, I think it's arranged. So you can see how the design has turned out looking. So what I usually like to do is, first off, I focus on the main message. the main thing that brought me to the app in the first place. So I focus on the main message I'm trying to convey before I start dealing with beautification. Now, as you can see, you can actually leave it like this and it's still okay, it's still fine, it's still okay. But when it's for a client, you have to bring out the optimum perfection. So you have to go all out. So after doing something like this, it looks kind of boring, and you can see that this empty space here looks kind of plain and empty. So this is where you now deal with beautification. After writing your message, the brand name, the whole thing that the flyer needs, you now go about dealing with beautification. So now for beautification, Canva has made it quite easier for us. If you don't have anything in mind, you can just easily type elements, and so many things will just come up. Good. Now look at these beautiful graphical elements that would make the flyer look, grand, look beautiful. So let's work with, let me stick with this. Okay, we can change the color. Well, I guess not, because color is not an option here, so I don't think we can. Let's see, we can do something like this. No, copy. You can sorry, then you see I want to apply it on this side. So for it to be on this side, what you need to do is click on flip. Now on this flip, you can flip depending on what the direction you want it to face, if it is vertically or horizontally. And for this, I think we need vertically, so we're going to turn it. I think it's quite upside down, so yeah, so let's do this. So now, sometimes you find it difficult picking smaller icons, smaller elements on the screen. So my shortcut is to I usually go through the layers. When I go through layers and then I search for what I want, and then it pops up. It's easy for me to pick, you get. So I think I've minimized it to my taste. I think it's still quite small. So I'm dealing with beautification now, and let's say I want no, this is not what I selected. Let's say I want something like this on the background. So all I need to do is broaden this, and then let me do it this way. So all I need to do right now is go to layers. Everything is all about the layering, and ensure that it's behind basically everything. You see? Oh, I'm coming. I think, yeah. So it's basically behind everything. You can still rearrange it however way you want, So here you go. You see that this empty space is not so empty anymore. You just have something simple and classy, and I think we are cool with this. But sometimes you can still try to explore or try your luck and see other things. Like right now I have the concept of glitters, but let's see. I think I already see what I like. So no, this isn't it. Nope. Yeah, this is it. So all you need to do is something like this. You can make it bigger, stuff like that. But I think it's quite too much, so I don't think we can just reduce it a bit. So here we go. You can still do some little touch up, so it's done. Just something simple and classy. So I think you get the concept of what I'm trying to depict here. So finally, when you want to download your work, you see there are two buttons. One is save, one is also download. One is going up, the arrow facing up, and the arrow facing down. I usually go through the one with the arrow facing up because it shows you different formats of which you can save your design. So after clicking that, you see the download option. You click on download, and then you see the file type. Now for file type, you have JPG, PNG, PDF standard, PDF print, SVG, MP4 video, GIF, and etc. etc. So for a flyer, it's best for you to use PNG for top quality. But if you use JPG, it's going to still come out, but it's going to be blur. It's not going to be clear. So the best is PNG format. Then if you want to print, for example now, an event planner that wants to print out banner or whatsoever, you are advised to print in PDF format. You see that there are two PDFs. One is PDF standard, best for documents and emailing, and then there's another one that is PDF print. It's advisable for you to print in PDF print format because it's best for printing. Then you also have SVG. SVG is best for logos. When you design logo, for your logo to stand the test of time, SVG is the best for you. But since it's a flyer that we're designing, so we're going to click on PNG, and under that file type, you now see something like size. Now, I usually increase the size because the higher the size, the higher the quality. So I increase the size. Then you also see something like limit file size to kilobytes, compress file to lower quality, which we don't need, and then transparent background. You can see that all these options has the pro icon on them. So because my Canva is a pro Canva, I won't be restricted for all this. So this was how I was able to remove or give that transparent background the other day. So if I want all these things, all those backgrounds, all those write-up, all those things at the background to be removed, all I need to do is to click on transparent background, but that's not what we want today, so we're not going to touch it. So after that, you click on download, and then your design is being saved, is downloading and being saved to your device in its best quality. So that's just how it's done. Next up, we're going to be talking about is logos. Yeah, making logos with Canva. So that's it on flyers.